You think that skilling your creative work isn't a lack of skill. It's not a lack of time. It's not a lack of talent either. It's the fact that you're judging and creating at the same time. And you probably don't even realize you're doing it because I didn't. Not until I found some old paintings I made a few years ago. Some of the first pieces I created for the world of Celeste. The execution was rough. The technique wasn't there either, but the idea was still alive. It resonated with me even now more than when I first made it. And that's something to me because I realized back then I was braver. I had less skill, less polish, less technique, but I was willing to swing for the fences. There's a sense of grandiosity in these early pieces. There's the largeness and there's the boldness. And I remember the version of me who made them. He wasn't thinking about whether it was good enough. He was just making them. And now I'm better. Like my skills has improved a lot and I have a better eye for art in general. But somewhere along the way I picked up a habit that has been quietly like suffocating my work. I started judging the art during the creation process. Let me explain what I mean. For the past couple of years, most of my creative energy has gone into client work. That's professional projects, deadlines, deliverables. And in that world, you have to be efficient. You don't explore, you execute. You don't wonder, you deliver. There's no room for dead ends, no time to take wrong turns. And I got good in that. I got really, really good at that. Here's what I didn't notice. That efficiency started bleeding into my own personal work. When I sat down recently to create for myself, and that is working on Celeste again, my hands were stiff. Not physically, but creatively. I could feel the voice at the back of my head saying, be efficient, get this done, don't waste time. And I thought, wait, this isn't a client project. This is mine. Why am I rushing it? Here's the thing I have come to understand. And I want you to really sit with this for a second. When you judge the work while you're still making it, you don't make it better, you make it smaller. Think about it. Have you ever started something, let's say drawing, a piece of music, business idea, and midway through, there's a voice that shows up like, this isn't good enough, this looks off, or who's going to care about this, and what's going to happen next? Like, you start to rush, you start to skip steps. You shrink the whole idea down into something smaller, something faster, something less. You don't even notice when you do this because I didn't, not for a long time. I'll give you an example from my own process. I've always been a little insecure about my sketches, not the finished work, like the sketches themselves, the ugly early stages of it. And because I was uncomfortable with how they looked, I would jump through the process, I would skip steps and jump straight to the final ideas. And you know what I ended up with? The very thing I was afraid of. Something that felt rushed, something that looked unfinished. The process of avoiding what made me uncomfortable created exactly what I didn't want. Living in a state of fear, it breeds the thing you're afraid of. Let me say that again. The process of skipping what makes you uncomfortable ends up creating what you don't like in the first place. So, I've been trying something different. I've been separating two things that for most of us have been tangled together our whole lives. That is creating and judging. Here's the rule I'm moving forward with. I, as the creator, I don't get to have an opinion of the work while the work is being made. The only thing that should cross my mind during the creation is creation itself. An empty page and a page filled with ideas, that's the only metric. Like, the question of whether the idea is good or bad, it's a distraction. It pulls you away from the flow. It's noise that is dressed up as quality control. Like, it's just a different disguise. And I know what some of you might think, but you have to have standards. You have to know something isn't working. And you're right, you do. But not yet, like not in the middle of making it. Because the only truly bad ideas are the ones you never executed. If something exists, even rough, messy, and ugly. It can be iterated on, it can become something, but if it never leaves your head, there's never anything to begin with. And I'll be honest with you, this is part of a bigger thing for me. I'm trying to fall in love with art again, not for the first time, but again. Because when I was a kid, I didn't dream about doing work for clients. I didn't think someday that I wanted to be more efficient with deadlines. I had words in my head, ideas I wanted to bring to life. And somewhere between then and now, the thing I loved became the thing I do for work. And work has a way of flattening things. So looking at these old paintings, these cosmic beings, it's inspiring and honestly a little intimidating because the version of me who made those was free in a way that I haven't been for a while now. I have the skills, I have a better eye now, and I just need to give myself permission to explore again, to be slow, to be patient, and to let things be rough. So I want to leave you with this. Whatever you're making, and it doesn't have to be art, it could be a business, a relationship, a version of yourself. The next time you catch yourself mid-process saying this isn't good enough or try something else, just try this instead. Like, notice it, don't argue with it, and don't fight it. Just notice it. Notice it and keep going. Because this is the truth you might not notice. There was nothing, and now there's something. That entire process is a win. So I'm curious, how often do you find yourself like judging yourself or judging your work while you're creating it? And if so, like what can you do to actually change that and make it better? How can you be more kind and compassionate to yourself?